Black Dog, What Is and What Should Never Be.
And if I say to you tomorrow, take my hand, child, come with me. It's to a castle I will take you, where what's to be they say will be. Catch the wind, sails dim, sail away, late today, way up high in the sky.
Is it tough to be both Jimmy Page and Robert Plant on stage?
Yeah, but I love it. I love it. And I can't do every song. Like, not every song works for me vocally, you know, but I really love it. I've also done Walk This Way. I did that once.
Oh,
but,
really?
It was really hard because when you've got a syncopated guitar part and or a syncopated vocal part, and they're like on different beats, it takes a while to get it, but when you get it, it is the most satisfying thing ever. So I love doing that.
Does that get recorded anywhere? Is there anywhere I can hear that?
It hasn't, but no, but maybe I'll do it someday with my band or something. But it was I did it for a benefit, but unfortunately I had no control over the rest of the band. Like the bass player was amazing, but the drummer wasn't, and you can't play Walk This Way without an amazing drummer. It doesn't work at all. It's horrible. Yeah. So God. I was like, yeah, that can't see the light of day. So.
You did a song with Tony Franklin.
Yeah.
One of my favorite artists. I absolutely love Tony Franklin.
Tony. Yes.
Everything he's done, from Roy Harper through The Firm, Blue Murder. Have you
had him on the podcast?
No, I've reached out to him and I haven't gotten a response yet. So
okay, I'll bug him for you.
Oh, that would be amazing.
He's amazing. Yeah, he's amazing.
Now, was that something where you reached out to him, and was that just because of the Jimmy Page connection?
No. So, I did reach out to him, but I met him backstage. So back around, was it like 2007, I was endorsed by Fender, and they flew me and the band out for some shows in Arizona for this.
Oh, cool.
Some festivals. Yeah, it was really cool. And he at the time was working for SWR, which Fender owned.
Okay.
And he was backstage. And of course, I knew who he was because of The Firm. And I still have my concert tickets from seeing The Firm twice. Oh. So he was backstage and he had a laminate that said Tony Franklin, and he was blonde. And I'm like, Tony Franklin? I'm like, oh my God.
The Tony Franklin.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, you're Tony Franklin from The Firm? And he's like, yeah. And I don't know that he was that used to people, coming up to him. Like, I don't know how many people at that time we're doing that.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I was totally fangirling on him. And so once we got back, I was like, well, I'm just going to work with Tony now at Fender. Like, Tony's the guy. So Tony ended up being like, I was like, he's my A&R guy at Fender. I don't care that he works for SWR. And so I would go visit him, and I actually I showed him my ticket stuff. I'm like, look, this is when I saw you when you were with the Firm and everything.
That's awesome.
So we were working together at Fender, and we stayed friends. And actually, I signed some of his songs to Triple Scoop Music, my licensing company. So we represent him.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And so when it came time to record, so we had recorded my whole record, Make Your Move. But then I felt like I needed one more song on it to be like, I don't know, to have all these elements that I thought would be radio friendly, which is hysterical because, like, what does that matter? Whatever. I was trying to play the game at that point. Yeah. And so I was like, well, I'm going to ask Tony to be on this, because I was using a different drummer. And so I'm like, I'm just going to get a different rhythm section in. And he was amazing. He was amazing. So it was so much fun to work with him.
You can pick his bass out, like, out of you throw 100 bass players out there, you can pick him out in a heartbeat.
Yeah. He's amazing. And he's an incredible, just sweet person too. I mean, that's the thing that I've found, and maybe I've just been lucky, but most of the people that I meet who are highly successful, they're so nice. Like they don't have anything to prove.
Yeah.
The ones that I know anyway. I mean, I'm sure there's people who are jerks, but like,
well, I probably haven't had as much experience with higher profile artists as you have, but the ones that I have had, I would agree. They've been very nice to me on the show, talking with them, reaching out, and even promoting and helping to further the episode. You know, saying, "Hey, I was on this show." So you know, I honestly, I don't think I've met anybody on this doing this podcast that I wouldn't want to have back. So
that's nice. Yeah, that's nice.
So it's I've got a really good thing going with these. I meet some really awesome people. People like you, Laura Hall, you know, really kick-ass people. So I heard I don't know what the right way to put this is, some interesting stories, and I want you to tell me a little bit more about these. I heard that at one point you traded T-shirts with Slash.
Oh, I did. Okay, yeah.
How did that happen?
So I used to go to this jam session at the Pt.2 in, I don't know if it's technically Hollywood or whatever, but it's right down the street from where I live now.
Okay.
And it was this like all-star jam where Slash would show up quite a bit, and he ended up getting a lot of his players on his solo tours from there. Okay. And people like Teddy Andreatis, I don't know if you know him, he's an amazing keyboard player. He plays with everyone. He would be there, and a guy named Alan Mercatani, who has sadly passed away, but incredible guitar player. Like these guys are just all like top session guys. And I would go to this jam and be terrified, but I would get up and play. And one night Slash was there, and he asked me, I don't know what T-shirt I was wearing. I have the worst memory. I don't remember which one it was that I was wearing. It could have been, I had a shirt that said girls kick ass. So it could have been that one, because I don't have that anymore, but I don't know. It's like something funny or something like that. And he's like, I want your shirt. Can I have your shirt? And I'm like, okay, trade shirts with you. I'm like, okay, give me your shirt, and then I'll go in the bathroom. And, so he took off his shirt and gave it to me. It was super sweaty, but I didn't care because it was Slash. I was like, oh my God. I moved to LA because Guns N' Roses was there. Like, I chose a college in LA because Guns N' Roses was in LA. So like,
wow.
Slash was like a big deal to me.
That's awesome.
And so I was like, oh my God, I have Slash's t-shirt. But he was wearing this big white t-shirt that just says sex on it. So like, I couldn't even wear it. It was like, I did like a photo shoot with it once, but like, it was like, I'm not going to wear this shirt. Yeah. White is my least favorite color to wear. So, but I treasured that shirt. I still have it in my closet. I love it. Oh, but yeah. I thought I was super special until my friend Johnny, who went on to play bass for him, was like, no, Slash does that all the time. He has like a closet full of shirts from other people. I'm like, oh, God damn it.
Jeez, man.
I am not special.
That's awesome. Funny. I also saw a video of you upsetting a bunch of lions and tigers by serenading.
Oh, yeah. Oh, come on, Sabu. He doesn't like the song.
Oh my God. That was really interesting. What was that about?
Okay. Do you know who Tippi Hedren is?
Yes.
Yeah. So she is, for people who don't know, Tippi Hedren is many things to many people. One of which is she is an actress who was the main actress in The Birds, the Hitchcock movie Birds. And Hitchcock went on to basically ruin her career because she wouldn't sleep with him.
Yes, I've heard that.
Horrible, yeah. But she was an actress, and she had gone on after working in film. She went on to become very, very big in big cat conservation, and she founded Shambhala, which is this amazing. Actually, I think I have a photo I can show you on my wall of these little tigers. I don't know if you can see that.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's signed by Tippi Hedren because my husband proposed to me at Shambhala. So they have these. So I used to, so I'd heard about this place where you can, see lions and tigers and stuff up fairly close up. And so we went there, he proposed to me, but then I started volunteering there. And we entered a raffle and we won an overnight stay at Shambhala.
Oh,
so we got to stay in a tent overnight, and I brought a little digital recorder with me. I don't know where this is, but I recorded the lions. They roar all night. It's amazing. It's crazy. So I went up. So during part of this, like we had a day, and they would like take us around, and we, So I ended up serenading the lions and the tigers with my guitar, and we took some video of it. But it was really fun.
It was
funny. Tippy Hedren is also Melanie Griffith's mother.
Yes, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I guess I'll promote this. She was on a not my podcast, but she was on Gilbert Gottfried's podcast. So if you're ever interested in hearing,
Tippy was?
Yes, Gilbert Gottfried's podcasts are hilarious.
Oh, I've never heard it. Okay.
Oh my gosh, he's done a ton. He's done a few, several hundred of these. It's called Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast.
Oh, I've heard the name, but I've never actually. Oh, I got to check it out.
Yeah, she was on. I can't say it was recently. I don't know because I've just kind of listening to him out of order. But she was on, and she talks about having the big cats roam around the house while Melanie was a kid.
I read her book. Got to read her book, but it's out of print, so you have to like really search for it. But I think is it called The Cats of Shambhala? I forget. It might be called The Cats of Shambhala, but she talks about like Melanie. There's a picture of Melanie sleeping in bed with either a tiger or a lion, like as a little kid. It's
insane.
The most irresponsible thing ever. And she says that. She's like,
she does.
I can't even imagine. Like, she's so against that now, but she just, oh my God.
She mentions that on Gilbert's podcast terrible. Too. She's like, I don't know what I was thinking.
Insane.
It really is.
But they do look really cuddly.
Yeah. They are. Well, yeah.
You want to just mush their little faces. They're huge faces.
They're big faces.
They're big teeth.
Sharp, pointy teeth.
Yeah.
I try to do a lot of research, and I don't want to ask everybody the same questions you get asked about a billion times. So, and I don't want to throw out things like, hey, give me the best piece of advice you'd give to an upcoming artist. I don't like throwing that kind of stuff at you. What I did find out, though, and I want to hear about this, if this is true, that you danced on stage with Janet Jackson at the American Music Awards.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Okay, and
you're the look on your face. If people could see your face, you didn't bother with a follow-up question. Okay.
I'm not sure if I need to.
How that happened?
I'm kind of like, do I want to know that one? So how did that one come about? What song were you dancing to?
Escapade.
Okay.
Come on, baby, let's get away. Come on, baby. Escapade, baby.
So
I'll never forget that song now.
Yeah. So how did that happen? How did you get that gig?
Okay. Again, another only in LA story. So remember back about 35 minutes ago when I said I took basically like a gap year between colleges.
Yes.
When I was like working my voice. So I was really into dance, and I was taking like 3 classes a day of like jazz and ballet and turns and all this stuff. I was like dancing. I loved dance. Wasn't that great, but loved it. Would have loved to be a professional dancer if I'd started when I was 5. Would have loved it, but was never that great. But I was taking all these dance classes, and I met this gorgeous woman named Denise. Beautiful, beautiful woman. Her husband was a director and had directed the film The Abyss. And he ended up directing Janet Jackson's video Escapade, and they hired Denise to be the huge butterfly in this video. Denise is a little bit older than me. She's much more savvy than me. I was still like Miss Goody Two Shoes, like really was not like confident, whatever.
Right.
So she calls me and she's like, I'm on the set of this music video. You need to come down here to be in this music video. And I was really sick. I was like deathly ill that day.
Oh, gosh.
But I kind of got myself out of bed. I'm like, okay, I'll come down. I think it was at the Universal lot. I think that's where it was. I drove down, but I felt awful. I mean, I had a fever and I was really sick. I went down and I saw them making the video, but I could not like get myself to do anything and stay. I was so sick. Now I probably would have. Like, I probably would have just like taken as much medication as possible and be like, okay, paint me up, whatever. But
Fuck it, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know though, because health is still number one.
Yeah.
But she did this video. She was one of the primary like kind of characters in the video. Mm-hmm. And then she calls me like, I don't know how much time had passed, but it turns out Janet was going to be performing this song on the American Music Awards.
Okay.
And so they were hiring people who had been in the video to be the same characters so that it, kind of matched the video. This is back in like 1990 or something like that, right? Okay. So she's like, she calls me again and she's like, Allie, come down. We're at such and such rehearsal studio. We're rehearsing for the thing. You just got to come down here and crash rehearsal. I'm like, who does that? Yeah. Like, I'm like, really? Like, they're not going to know I'm not supposed to be there? She's like, no, just come down.
I can do that?
So I did that. And I was like, I just came in and Janet's choreographers there, the Rhythm Nation dancers were there. I was like, oh my God, people are amazing, right? They're epic. And then like these really cool, like extras, like were there like doing their cool dances. So at the end of rehearsal, they're like, okay, go bring your driver's license or whatever over to the person and they'll make sure, you get paid and all that stuff. So I just submitted my stuff like everyone else. I ended up getting paid to dance with Janet Jackson on the American Music Awards. And so we get to the awards and then all I'm doing is dancing in the background. I'm an extra. Like I'm just doing like, I'm not like doing anything the Rhythm Nation dancers are. I'm like, like this is even before I was even as good as I ever got dancing. And so I'm there. I got my hair done. I got my makeup done. I'm in these like crazy tights and this little outfit. And like 5 minutes before showtime, they're like, oh, here. And they give me this huge, ugly mask to put over my head. Oh. I'm like, this is the first time on national television. Like, are you kidding? And I go up to Denise and I'm like, Denise, they want me to put this over my face for this. And I'm really, she's like, just don't do it and say you forgot. And I'm like, I can't do that. I'll spoil the whole movie. I was such an idiot. I put the mask on and whatever. Now I totally wouldn't. I'd be like, oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. Like I never saw those people again. Well, who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
And like it made a difference. Like I came on like halfway through the song and it was like in the background, like, whatever. But it was so cool and it was so fun. And afterwards I met LL Cool J. This is before he was an actor. Big LL Cool J fan, like radio and all that stuff. So I was super stoked. It was really fun.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. I'm glad I thought about asking the follow-up.
Yeah, well, it was again, one of these, like people do ask, like, do I have to move to LA or New York to do music? I'm like, no, you absolutely do not. But you will not get an opportunity like that.
That's true.
Like the kind of like last minute, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do that? Like so much. You'd think that all this stuff is like super planned out. It's not. It's like at the last minute, people will get a creative like, bug up their ass and be like, oh, we need 50 singers. I mean, like, why did people call me at the last minute for Neil Young's thing? Like maybe at first they were just going to have 25 people. And then all of a sudden, I don't know. I'm just totally.
It's conjecture, but.
Yeah, conjecture. Like maybe all of a sudden he's like, you know what? Rather than 25 people, let's have 100.
Let's make it bigger.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that happened, but it was literally the night before. So that doesn't happen when you're in Minnesota. Oh, well, actually, it could happen for Paisley Park, maybe.
Yeah, that's...
Get called down to Prince's place or, back in the day.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
That's true. Yeah, you never know, right? When that guy was alive. He was amazing, too. You also got a chance to wear a dress worn by a bloodstained dress worn by Betty Davis.
And that was also from the dancing connection because I danced at Debbie Reynolds Studios. That's where I took my lessons, my classes. And Debbie Reynolds had this fashion show where all of these dresses that she had owned and collected over the years, I guess she had a collection of all of these dresses. She's since, I think she had sold them all off last time I'd heard. But yeah, it was like a fashion show. And so I got into these like little tiny ridiculous dresses with blood on them and everything.
So it's from a movie. But these are from a movie. This was
Young Jess and also Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Wow.
I know.
That's crazy. That's you're right. Only in LA.
Only in LA. Like that just doesn't happen other places. I don't think.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now I want to know a little bit more about you. Back in 2013, you were diagnosed with, and I'm gonna totally jump this up.
Good luck with this one.
Waldenstrom's macroglobulinemia.
That's perfect. Wow.
Boom.
That's amazing. I'm so impressed. It took me like 3 weeks to learn how to say that.
And I don't even have it.
I know. That's impressive.
That's why I do my research. So tell me a little bit about what that is and what it's meant to your career.
It's a super rare form of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So it's a rare form of cancer that usually hits white men in their 60s.
Oh.
So I was the perfect candidate for it.
Wait, so it's already rare.
Yeah.
And you're not a white man in his 60s.
In my 60s.
So it's got to be even more rare in you.
Yeah, although sadly more and more women are getting it. It seems like it's kind of weird. Just like many cancers, we don't know why people get it, but lymphoma runs in my family, in my mom's side of the family. My mom had an aggressive form of lymphoma 15 years ago, and she's doing great now. My uncle, all kind of cancer similar to my mom's, and he's doing fine. It's interesting. Mine is what they call an indolent form of cancer, which means it's very slow moving. So I probably had it for years and years and years before we even found out.
Wow.
But because of that, it's incurable, and they're looking for a cure, but I live with it. And so, it definitely slowed me down for a minute. I had to go through chemo, and it was scary.
How did you find out that you had it?
It was crazy. I basically had a very pushy insurance agent who was trying to sell us life insurance, my husband and I.
I've gone down that road. Selling it, not buying it.
Oh, yeah. So he was trying to sell us this like long-term care / life insurance. And we're like, okay, we'll try to be responsible adults and get some sort of life insurance. And of course, I'm the one who's like working out 5 days a week and watching what I eat and drink and like blah, 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 blah. And my husband has never had to watch anything he eats, and he doesn't exercise and doesn't do jack shit, whatever. So I'm like, honey, you need to drink water. We're getting these blood tests. No. His blood test is fine. And the insurance guy calls me and he's like, yeah, there's a problem with your blood test. They're not going to insure you. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? And he's like, well, I'm not supposed to know this, but he got it out of them what the values were that were like dangerous or whatever. And so I found out what they were, and I Googled them, which is always
that's so good. Yeah.
But of course I was going to, And so I Googled like these 3 blood values, and like some website I went to was like, these are 3 of the 4 ominous signs. I'm like, ominous for what? What does that mean? Ominous,
That's not a good word.
It might be cancer. I don't know. But at first we thought it was just a mistake. Like I went to my doctor. He's like, oh, that looks like a mistake. Let's just do the test again with my lab, and it came back the same. So he sent me to a hematologist, which is a blood doctor, but it was hematology oncology. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound good.
I know what that word means.
Yeah, exactly. And my doctor is amazing. And basically, I had a very high level of protein in my blood. And I had to, he was like, yeah, we want to put you in treatment right away because it's really high right now. And the only symptom that I had noticed, and I just thought it was because I'm a really busy person, but I was exhausted a lot of the time. Okay. And I remember complaining to my husband once, in the middle of the day, I was like, honey, I'm so tired. I just want to just sleep. And it's 2:00. What's wrong with me? He's like, you're just tired. Just take a nap. He's very pro nap, right? So
yeah, I agree with him.
Yeah, it's very healthy. But my hemoglobin, my red blood cell level was 7.7. It was really low, and that's why I was so anemic. I was exhausted. So that explained it. So anyway, I ended up getting my first treatment over the kind of first several months of 2014. Okay. And then I had a big concert to celebrate that. It was I forget what we called it. I think it was called Cancer Can Suck It. That was the concert.
That's a shirt that Slash would have wanted right there.
Oh yeah, that's a good. Maybe I should make that shirt. That'd be a good one. Exactly. So then I was off treatment for a while, and I would just get checked. I'd go in for periodic blood tests. But then my numbers started creeping back up. And that's just kind of what this cancer does. It's always there. You can't really get rid of it yet until they find a cure. But I'm on this amazing, so what happened was it started creeping back up, and I had made my record in 2016, the one that was released in 2017. Mm-hmm. And it turns out I went to one of these like folky conferences and met I played the single that was the song that I thought should be the single from the record at this like radio panel. And one of the radio guys was like, this song should be on the radio. This is a great song. So I talked to him and he's like, I know some indie record labels and I want to introduce you to them, whatever. So part of the reason it took longer to get that record out is because I was negotiating a record deal. And I ended up getting my first record deal to put out that record in 2017. So basically I licensed that record because I had already made it and paid for it, but I licensed it to this other company. So they did some radio promo and, cool. Other kinds of for me. Yeah, it was cool. And it was very exciting for me because I had never worked with a record company before. And he really, the owner of the label, it was very important to him that I tour. So as we're approaching in 2017, as we're approaching the release of the record, I go to my oncologist and find out my numbers are creeping up. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, no, I'm not going to let cancer get in the way of my fucking career. Like, that is not a thing. It's not going to happen. So I'm like, I don't want to do chemo because even though the chemo that I went through, I could have done it again. It's not the harshest kind of chemo. Like, I didn't lose my hair. I didn't even throw up, although I was very nauseous. Like, for 2 weeks at a time, I basically couldn't get out of bed. But I didn't lose my hair, and I didn't actually throw up. Wow. So a little different from other kinds of chemo, but it's not something you can tour with. And your immune system's shot to hell and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, what can I do other than that? And it turns out there was a brand new drug that had been approved a couple years, like right when I had first been diagnosed, it had been approved. I'm like, well, why don't I try going on that? Because if I'm on that and that works, I can actually still tour. So I went on that drug in 2017 and was able to tour behind that record, which is amazing.
That's awesome.
It is. I now literally I take a pill a night and I keep it under control. And so far, so good. Once a year, I go back to Boston to Dana-Farber, where there is an oncologist there who only sees people with my disease. Oh, wow. Which is that's pretty amazing because only 1,500 people a year are diagnosed with this condition. Oh, wow. So it's very rare, but he specializes in it. So he and my doctor in LA kind of work together, and I rely on him for all the very latest updates and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's cancer story.
That's the cancer story.
Yeah, got that one out of the way. Yeah.
But it hasn't dampened your spirits. You're making music, and you great sense of humor.
I'm not afraid of it either. A lot of people are afraid of the word cancer, and I'm not. And it's also interesting, I still have a lot of friends in this kind of New Thought community where it's kind of the whole the secret thing, what you say is and I had people telling me don't call it my cancer. It's not your. I'm like, no, it's a part of me. It's okay. It's not my enemy. I'm not trying to yes, I don't want to be overcome by cancer, but it's also it's okay. I can live with it. It's okay. I'm not going to let it overtake me, but it's, it's just, I'm not afraid of it. It's not this enemy. It's just something that needs to be controlled.
It's not going to go away if you don't talk about it.
Right. Yeah. And I don't want to be afraid of it. And I don't let it rule my life either, but I also am very upfront about it. And it's amazing how many people I've met who've had cancer. And it's insane. And I don't know if it's the environment or that I'm getting older and more people have had cancer now. It's crazy.
Yeah. I've had a couple of friends with it myself, and it's amazing. You don't think about it. Yeah. I have my cousin. So what are you working on now? You got new music in the works?
Yeah, I'm actually in pre-production for 5 new songs right now. Cool. And I'm really excited. We're going in the studio next week to cut basic tracks.
Oh, great.
And I think what I'm going to be doing is releasing a song a month on all the digital platforms, as well as releasing all of my VIP fan club supporters. It's kind of like a Patreon thing, but I don't do Patreon.
Okay.
They contribute a certain amount every month. And so they're helping me fund all of these recordings. So they're going to get all the stuff before everybody else does. And then I'll be releasing on like, Spotify, Apple Music, and eventually I'll put out my next record, probably with some of these songs, some songs from a future 5-song session, that kind of a thing.
Okay.
So it's really interesting. I mean, the music industry is changing so much all the time.
Yes. Yeah. It's amazing. I spoke with, I'm trying to remember who it was. It may have been Don Zantara. He produced a lot of early punk stuff in the DC area, like Minor Threat, Bad Brains. Did some stuff with Rollins and all that. Mm-hmm. And it feels to me like music is kind of going back a little bit more towards what it was in the like early 50s when rock and roll, everything was about the single.
Yeah, I think so.
So the platforms are a little different now, but vinyl's poised to outsell CDs for the first time in 25 years or something like that. So
someone told me that number though is in dollar amount, not units, which didn't surprise me because vinyl is much more expensive than CDs.
That is.
And it's more expensive to make. But my fans want vinyl. Like I've never put out vinyl, but I'm going to for my next record because they want it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love physical copies of stuff. I like the convenience of CDs. Mm-hmm. I'm not opposed to vinyl. It's just a little harder for me to find a place to play it. But if I just download a song, I don't feel like I actually own it. So I love and being having the photography background. I love the artwork and all.
Yeah, well, that's what's so cool about vinyl is like having the artwork big. That's so cool.
Like all those amazing Led Zeppelin covers.
Oh my God, I know the hours I spent poring over just all of those. The watercolor one.
Yeah, you get a download, you get a JPEG, but how often are you going to pull that up when you're?
I never ever looked at any of that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't. You put it on whatever. Player you've got, and you hit shuffle, and then you never look at the picture that comes with it. It's a shame. So,
yeah.
Where can people follow you? How can they become VIPs? How can they get your newsletter?
Yeah, they can find me. I'm pretty much everywhere on all the social media, but it's my website is alihandal.com. It's ALIHANDAL.com. And you can sign up for my newsletter. And if you're connected with me that way, you'll know about everything before everybody else does. But I'm also on Facebook, Ali Handal Music, and Instagram. And I don't really check my Twitter. I mean, I have an account, but I don't ever look at it. So.
Twitter's the worst.
Don't send me anything because I won't see it.
Twitter is the absolute worst.
Comedians love Twitter.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
Comedians love Twitter. Musicians are more Instagram. But I've really found a big majority of my fans on Facebook.
Oh, cool.
Through Facebook ads. Yeah. It's like incredible.
That's awesome. And do you do a lot of touring now lately, or?
I haven't, but I'm going to next year, and primarily because of the fans that I've found via Facebook. I'm planning on doing a lot of touring next year.
Oh, you coming to the East Coast, you think?
Oh, definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah. Where are you located?
I'm outside of DC. I'm in Winchester.
Oh, you're outside DC. Okay. Yeah, definitely. I need to get back down there. Yeah.
Yes.
Maryland, the area.
If you come to the area, help me out with like a media pass. I'll take some pictures.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would love to meet you in person. And after this, if you don't mind, I will through our Skype chat. I'll shoot you a couple of photos just to just so you know I'm not full of shit. So.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't. I didn't think that anyway. But
I'm host of a podcast that all I am is full of shit. But not as a photographer. I'm a legit.
Wait, we didn't talk about anxiety at all.
No, that's exactly. So that's. Ali Handal, everybody. Thank you so much for spending so much time with me.
Oh, no worries. It was fun.
Oh, I'm glad. It's an awesome story. So I'm really glad you got a chance to tell them.